So now that we understand frames conceptually and we've seen how ARP resolves local addresses, we're going to move into the most widely used link layer technology ever created. Of course, I'm talking about Ethernet. In this module, we're going to dissect Ethernet frame field by field, and rather than memorizing numbers, our goal is to understand why each component exists and how it contributes to that reliable local delivery. So Ethernet has become a dominant local area network technology, from small office networks to those massive data centers that we see. Ethernet provides a consistent way to move frames between different devices. What makes Ethernet so powerful is not just its speed, but the standardization. A common frame format ensures that devices from different manufacturers can actually communicate pretty reliably. At a high level, an Ethernet frame has 4 parts: synchronization, addressing and control, data, and error detection. The preamble prepares the receiver for those incoming bits, and the header contains addressing and protocol information. The payload carries the encapsulated IP packet, and the trailer includes that CRC for error detection. Each section serves a distinct purpose in turning raw signals into meaningful communication. The first critical fields in the header are the destination and source MAC addresses, each of the 6 bytes long, and uniquely identifies a network interface on the local link. Switches then examine the destination MAC address to decide where to forward that frame. Unlike routers, switches do not inspect the IP headers. They operate entirely at the frame level. This separates the responsibilities and keeps switches fast and efficient. This is why we call it layer 2 versus layer 3. Remember, layer 3 is all about routing. The ether type field identifies what protocol is carried inside the frame's payload. For example, 0x0800 indicates IPv4. And no, you don't need to memorize that. This allows the receiving device to pass the payload to the correct higher layer protocol handler. Without this field, the system would not know how to interpret the data carried within the frame. Ethernet is therefore flexible. It can carry many types of network layer different protocols. The payload contains the IP packet generated by the network layer. Ethernet then enforces the minimum and maximum frame sizes to maintain that reliable collision detection and timing properties. If the payload is too small, padding is added. If it exceeds the maximum size, well, then we do fragmentation. Switches forward the frames without interpreting the payload, and this preserves that modularity between the different layers. All right, the frame check sequence is a 32-bit CRC value computed over the frame's contents. When the receiver recalculates this value, any mismatch is going to indicate corruption. And rather than attempting to repair it, the Ethernet is simply going to discard it, and higher layers are going to handle the retransmission if necessary. This design keeps the link layer lightweight and focused on detection rather than the correction. Ethernet is connectionless. It does not establish sessions before sending the frames. It does not provide acknowledgments for successful delivery. This means that Ethernet offers best effort service only. Reliability, ordering, and congestion control are all handled at the higher levels, such as TCP. This separation keeps the Ethernet simple and fast while delegating the complexity upwards. Now that we've dissected the Ethernet frame and examined each field's purpose, the MAC addressing to CRC validation, each component contributes to reliable local delivery. Ethernet itself remains simple and correctionless, relying on higher layers for advanced functionality.